Today we're going to make traditional Malaysian Nyonya Acar. Feel free to pause here. These are the list of ingredients and preparation methods.
So let's have a look at the ingredients to make achar. Now achar has got two main portions. The first portion would be the vegetables that we use to form the base of the main components of achar, and then there are the ingredients to make the sauce to actually flavor and marinate the achar. So let's have a look at the vegetables. So today we're using freshly cut cucumbers, and you can use normal cucumber or a Japanese type cucumber. We'll need to salt this and let it sit for like at least half an hour. We're going to have some sliced carrots, some chilies. You can use green chilies or red chilies. I cut up some cauliflower florets, some cabbage, and some long beans cut into almost the same lengths so that it actually mixes easier. Now for the sauce portion, we will have Galangal, which is basically a type of ginger. If you cannot get this, just use a bit of ginger. Turmeric. We have shallots or onions. I'm using half of a medium-sized onion here. I'm going to use 2 candle nuts. If you cannot find candle nuts, you can use cashew nuts or macadamia nuts. This will make the sauce a bit richer. I'm going to use half a portion of lemongrass, and I've got some roasted peanuts that we will grind up in a bit. And here we have some dried chilies that has been soaking for a little while, which we'll grind up with the rest of this to make the sauce. Now one key portion to add flavor to it would be Belacan, which is actually a fermented shrimp paste. You can get this in the fresh format or the dried powdered format. So I'm using the dried powdered format today. We will need some vinegar, white vinegar, sugar, and salt to taste. Alright. So the first thing I want to do is to salt the cucumber. The reason for salting the cucumber is to remove some of the water content in the cucumber to make it more crunchy, as well as to make sure that the water doesn't dilute the sauce flavor. Okay, I'm just going to add some salt into this. Now of course we are not going to use all of this salt in the final dish. We'll drain the fluid away later. Because the salt is just to help to remove some of the moisture in the cucumber. Okay, so let's just leave this a pause, and we need to leave this for at least a few minutes, preferably half an hour. Okay, so these are all tossed in salt. I'm just going to go leave this aside for a while. Now, the rest of the vegetables, we actually need to blanch them for a minute or two, so just to soften the hard vegetable so that the marinade can actually go into the vegetable. So I've got a pot of water boiling at the side. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the pot, as you can see here. We'll start with the harder vegetables, so I'm just going to drop in the cauliflower. And then the carrots, and then the green long beans. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to return this to the flame and to give it a boil. Now I'm going to add the cabbage after a minute with the green chilies. Alright, so let's have a look at making the sauce right now. So the two things we need to blend would be, we need to dry crush the peanuts. So I'm just going to use a small container for this. Alright, I'm just going to use the grinder for this. And then for the dry ingredients, I'm going to put the onion inside with the lemongrass and the turmeric, the galangal, the 2 candlenuts. Okay. Then I'm going to add the dried chilies which has been soaking. I'm going to add in some of this fluid to help the grind. Alright. Our sauce grounded. Now you can see the vegetables are boiling easily. I'm going to add the cabbage to it, just very quickly. Okay, just return it to boil for a few more seconds. So as you can see, the vegetables are now just cooking in the boiling water. Just going to give it a stir. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to drain the water right now. So now I'm just going to pour the vegetables out so that they can dry in the plate. The reason why we do this is so that we can again remove as much of the moisture as possible, so that the sauce can actually penetrate the vegetables. Okay, that looks pretty good. Colors look pretty good as well. As you can see, our cucumbers are sweating very nicely. There's a lot of fluid just coming out. We're going to just leave this for a little while more. Just going to give it a toss. Alright, and after a few more minutes we'll drain the fluid and use this. Great, now we will make the sauce. I'm just going to turn on the flame. So I'm going to add some vegetable oil. Don't have to add too much. We're just going to fry the spice mixture. Here we go. So we're just going to fry this until it gets cooked and becomes fragrant. So as you can see, the spice mixture is nicely cooking, bubbling away. We're going to fry this until it becomes darker. Now I'm going to go clean the cucumbers by pouring out all the fluid, and by pouring out all the fluid, and also to drain as much water as possible. Alright, so I've drained the water, and now the cucumbers feels a bit crunchy and a bit soft, which is exactly what we need. Now the sauce is frying for a few minutes right now, and my whole kitchen smells really fragrant from the galangal and the other spices. So as you see, the spice is fairly dry now with some of the oil coming out. So now what we're going to do is to season. I'll have some salt. Okay, I'm going to add some dried shrimp paste. This is Belacan. Not too much because it's fairly strong. And I'll just give this a bit more fry. 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2. And almost half a cup of vinegar. So that it forms a bit of a sauce so that we can coat the vegetables. There. Okay, we're going to cook this for a little while. And when it comes back to a boil, we'll taste it for seasoning. If you need to add more salt or sugar or vinegar. Okay, for me it needs more salt. A bit more. Now when the sauce comes to a boil and you have adjusted the seasoning, to make sure that it's just over a little salty, just over a little sweet, and you can actually taste the vinegar. Okay, because we are going to coat the vegetables with all this sauce. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm going to turn off the heat. Now we're going to sprinkle in the grounded peanuts. And we're just going to mix this thing up. The peanuts will give it almost like a very creamy, very rich texture. That's what we want, and we don't want to be too grounded too fine, because we want to have the bits of peanuts that we can actually bite into. Now this is perfect. It's not too watery, it's not too thick, as you can see. Okay, now we're going to put our vegetables back in. Remember that the heat is already off, so that the slow heat just warm the vegetables. And if there's excess water, do not pour in the excess water. Right, the vegetables should be dry. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to mix this in. And I forgot we have our cucumbers, which has been drained. Okay, let's leave that in as well. Okay, now we just have to mix this thing. The sauce is in the bottom, so we're going to mix all the vegetables with the sauce. Now if you want to, you can actually eat this right now. Because the sauce is cooked and the vegetables are blanched. The usual way that we eat this is to leave it to marinate at least over 2 days in the fridge, so that the flavor of the sauce completely penetrates the vegetables, and throughout these 2 extra days the vegetables will continue to release extra fluid, and that will make, although it looks very dry right now, in the next 2 days, some of this fluid in the vegetables will be released, and it makes a little bit of a sauce. Okay, that's just perfect. Okay, now you want to store this into a sterilized jar. Alright, so I'll get the jars and I'll be back I'm going to leave it to cool for a little bit more. So you want to see that the vegetables are not broken down. You can see the long beans, the cucumbers, you can see the cauliflower, the carrots, okay, and the green chilies. Okay, I'm going to mix this up a little bit more, and I'm going to go find my containers and come back. So I found my jar, and that's our vegetables ready. Acar. Incidentally, acar actually means pickles in local language. So I'm just going to spoon this into the jar. You want to make sure that it's clean. Right? If you have a glass, just sterilize it. And make sure you get all the sauce into the jar as well, because that sauce will actually continue to marinate the vegetables. There, we're done. So one thing to remember is once you've got it into the jar, make sure you pack it down, right, so that the sauce can get to all the vegetables. There. It's good enough to eat at the moment. There. Just clean the lid of the jar. Okay, and there we have it. Hope you can focus on this. Right. Just store it away and leave it in the fridge for 2 days before consuming it.